As you know, the EPFO has announced a rate cut in contribution from 12% to 10% for the pandemic period May to July 2020. Since there was a lot of confusion, the EPFO subsequently published an FAQ on the PF rate cut. Let's look at the top 2 questions bothering corporates today. Question 1. Is this 10% rate mandatory or optional? Here's the EPF answer under FAQ question 12. The reduced rate of contribution 10% is the minimum contribution during the period of the package. The employer, employee or both can contribute at a higher rate also. What does this mean? This means that the employer can contribute PF at the minimum rate of 10% or the regular rate of 12%. Equally, it means that the employee too has the option to contribute either the minimum 10% or the regular 12%. Different employer-employee options are also possible. So, the employer can contribute 10% while the employee contributes 12% and vice versa. This is a first of its kind and aims to offer extra liquidity to both the employer and the employee as per FAQ answer 2. Now here's the question that has really got everyone thinking. What if the employer's PF is a part of the CTC? Should the employer then pay back the 2% as employee salary? Well, it depends on the employment contract. Generally, CTC has 2 components, Part A, salary and perks. These are negotiated between the employer and the employee and fixed for definite periods of time. Part B, statutory benefits. These are based on government-declared rates, which may vary from time to time depending on government policies. Hence, if the employment contract permits the employer to adjust any increase or decrease in statutory obligations with the components of Part A, then 2% of PF wages should be paid back to the employees in the present instance to keep the total CTC unchanged. For example, in 2019 when the ESIC contribution was reduced, if at that time the reduced amount was transferred to Part A, then the same logic should apply to this instance also. So, the employer is not legally liable to change any component in Part A of the CTC to keep the overall CTC the same unless specifically called out in the contract. Let's take another example for employees outside the ESIC coverage. Suppose the PF rate is increased to 14%. Then, will the employer decrease the other CTC components in Part A to recover the increased 2% PF contribution? If the answer is yes as per the employment contract, then the employees must get back 2% in this PF rate cut instance also. So the answer lies in the employment contract. Please go back and check it. We suggest FAQ 2 may be read in conjunction with FAQ 8. This will provide clarity on the government's intent. FAQ 8 cannot be read in isolation. Thanks for watching. Have further questions? Ask C-Quel. Email info@cquel.com. Visit us at www.cquel.com.